Hey boys and girls, I want to share a book with you today called Going Places by Peter and Paul Reynolds. This is one of our South Carolina Picture Book Award nominees. Remember, we've been trying to read those because we're going to vote on our favorite book near the end of February. So that's one reason I chose to read this book to you today, and I'll tell you the other reason when I get finished reading this to you. There's another special reason I'm reading this book. So I'm going to zoom in on the pages so you can see them. And this is Going Places. Raphael had been waiting all year long for the Going Places contest. A chance to build a go-kart, race it, and win. When their teacher announced who would like the first kit, Raphael's hand shot up. The rest of the class watched enviously as Raphael walked past to his seat with a kit. Mrs. Shonda assured them, "Don't worry, you'll all be getting one." And they're all exactly alike. Those are their Going Places kits. The kit came with a set of precise instructions. That made Raphael happy. He was very good at following directions. Raphael hammered, glued, nailed, and assembled his kit. His go-kart looked just like the one in the directions. He was feeling quite proud. Raphael wondered how his classmate Maya was doing. She lived right next door. He peered over the fence. "Hey Maya, you haven't even started?" Maya didn't respond. She was so intent on watching the bird in front of her and quickly sketching it that she didn't even notice Raphael. Then she just put down her pencil and stared at the bird dreamily. Raphael shrugged and let her be. So she was looking at the bird. She wasn't making her kit. He wondered, what is she doing? But he didn't say anything. The next morning, Raphael checked back in to see how Maya was doing. "Wow, what is that?" he asked. Maya grinned. "You like it?" Raphael responded slowly, "Yeah, extremely cool. But Maya, there's just one little problem. That's not a go-kart." So she'd been looking at that bird and watching the way it was moving with its wings, and that's why she decided to build what she built. Maya smiled. "Who said it had to be a go-kart?" Raphael was confused. The set of instructions inside the box were for a go-kart, but then again, they didn't say it had to be a go-kart. He looked again at Maya's contraption. After a moment, he grinned. "I get it. Hey Maya, I really want to win this race. The instructions never said we couldn't team up either. So it didn't say they had to build a go-kart, and it didn't say that they couldn't pair up with someone. So that is what they're going to do." And so they did, working late into the night. The next day, everyone gathered for the big race. Each go-kart was a perfect replica of the other. That means they all looked exactly alike because they followed the instructions in the go-kart kit. But you didn't have to. except one. Look at Maya and Raphael's. They didn't follow the instructions. They went out and used their imagination. One of the kids laughed. Looks like you had trouble with the going places instructions. You're going places all right. You're going to lose. Maya and Raphael didn't have time to respond because the announcer's big boomy voice called out, "Attention racers, start your engines. 4, 3, 2, 1, and a buzzer sounded. And they're off. While all the other go-karts disappeared in a cloud of dust, Maya just sat there in their motionless vehicle. Raphael shouted over the roar of engines and cheering crowds, "Maya, what are we waiting for?" "No worries, Raphael," Maya answered. "Flaps down, throttle up." And now they took off into the air. Look at all the other cars down below driving, and they're flying. The other contestants looked up in amazement. Maya and Raphael hovered and then sped past them all. Before long, Maya and Raphael coasted across the finish line to the cheers of the waiting crowd. Look at the next car. It's way back there. That's how much faster they were. They kept rolling clear across the race grounds. Maya slammed the brakes, stopping just short of the lake at the edge of the school field. Raphael noticed a startled frog leap from a lily pad and dive into the water. He raised his eyebrow and looked at Maya. She smiled. "Raphael, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Raphael just nodded. Remember at the beginning of the book, Maya was looking at that bird, and that's what gave her the idea to make the flying go-kart? Well, they just saw a frog leap. And this is what they have in their mind to do next. So this book is about using your imagination and not necessarily doing what everybody else does, but doing what you want to do, and what they made something that they wanted to make and didn't worry about what everyone else's go-kart looked like. They made one that was right for them. So either today or in a couple days, you are going to come to the library. Second graders, you are going to come during a kindergarten class time, and you are going to help someone in kindergarten, and I'm going to give you a bag like this. It's going to have some paper in it, yarn. Everyone's going to have the same thing. 4 popsicle sticks, some tape, and some scissors. And I'm going to give you the chance to make something that moves. Anything. I'm not going to give you instructions like they did in the book. I want you to be thinking about something that you would like to make out of that paper, the yarn, and the popsicle sticks, and we'll have some tape. Something that moves. Now yours might not actually have wheels and roll, but an example would be like what Maya made and Raphael, an airplane. So you and your partner could construct an airplane out of the materials that I give you. Now I want you to think, before you come to class, kind of what you could make together, and then we'll get a picture of y'all together, and I might even hang some of these up in the library. So you're going to work together as a team, like Maya and Raphael, 1 kindergartner and 1 second grader, and you're going to come up with something that moves. That'll be totally different from anybody else in your class, and whatever you make is going to be great. It doesn't have to be like someone else. So I want y'all to be thinking before you come in here about what you would like to make. I think we're going to have a good time, and I'll see you then.